Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being with us today at the 51st Big Ten Conference Football Media Days presented by Old National Bank. As I stand here and look out at Lucas Oil Stadium, we're starting the season today, but in just a few months, we'll be back here with 67,000 Big Ten fans and two teams competing for a Big Ten championship. I'm excited to begin my first full academic year as the Big Ten Commissioner. And this event represents not only the beginning of the 2023 football season, but also the start of a new year for up to 10,000 Big Ten student athletes across 28 sports. I cannot help but remember the last time I was at a Big Ten football media day. It was back when I was at ABC Sports. Keith Jackson came with us, and I can tell you there's nothing better than traveling with Keith Jackson around college football. He was remarkable. He hosted and introduced the coaches. As you might imagine, his introductions were memorable, and that experience inspired me to leave the coaches' introductions to the pros. And so over the next 2 days, you will hear from our media partners as they announce our coaches. I'd like to thank the Big Ten staff for their great work in organizing this event, and also acknowledge Diana Sabo and AJ Eads, who lead Big Ten football all year long. A special thank you to the Irsay family, the Indianapolis Colts, the Indiana Sports Corp, for serving as our hosts at Lucas Oil Stadium, an absolutely perfect venue for this event. We have many of our partners here today, including representatives from 12 bowl games. We greatly appreciate the work that you and your volunteers do to provide memorable experiences for our student athletes, coaches, staff, and fans. A special thank you to the Rose Bowl. Big Ten teams have made 73 trips to Pasadena, beginning with Michigan's first trip in 1902. The Rose Bowl has been at the center of the history of Big Ten football. Thank you to Bill Hancock from the CFP for your dedication to college football and college athletics. It's been great to work with you again these past few months. Welcome and thanks to our media partners here today, BTN, Fox, CBS, and NBC, especially as we begin our new broadcast pattern this fall. More on that in a few minutes. Most importantly, thank you to our head coaches and student athletes. A special welcome to our 4 new coaches, Matt Rule from Nebraska, David Braun at Northwestern, Ryan Walters from Purdue, and Luke Fickle from Wisconsin. All of our coaches have been very generous in giving me their time and support as we head towards the start of a new season. While not here today, I want to acknowledge the dedication and work done by more than 96 Big Ten football officials, led by the best team in the business, Bill Carollo, Ron Gunther, and Coach Barry Alvarez. Thank you to the Big Ten Council of Presidents and Chancellors, our ADs, SWAs, and faculty reps, and all of the staff across our institutions that work tirelessly to provide Big Ten student athletes with both a world-class education and a world-class athletic experience. And of course, thank you to our fans who support all of our programs all year long with their time. And lastly, thank you to all of our media here today and across the country who support our programs, coaches, and student athletes. We appreciate you being here and all you do for us during the season. So as I stand here this morning, I'm about 2 weeks away from completing my first 100 days as commissioner. To use a baseball phrase, just enough dirt in my spikes to make some observations, and I want to share a few with you today. First, I want to say that by far the best part of the job is being around our student athletes, coaches, administrators, and fans at our games, tournaments, and championships. I was fortunate that when I started this position, I got to be at the Big Ten women's golf, men's lacrosse, and baseball tournaments. And best of all, I was there to watch Northwestern win the women's lacrosse national championship. Watching the level of play and coaching and the passion from our fans was obviously incredible, and our Big Ten staff does a remarkable job to ensure that our student athletes have the best experiences. My second observation is more about the state of college athletics, and that is that meaningful collaboration with the commissioners of other conferences and President Baker of the NCAA, combined with legislative support from Congress, is essential to address the changing landscape of college athletics. And most importantly, to preserve the core mission of providing academic opportunities through athletics. I can assure you that the work is happening in some form every day. Third, I've spent an enormous amount of time talking to our coaches, student athletes, ADs, the COPC, and my A5 partners about NIL. and I've learned a lot what NIL is and what NIL is not. What it is a great mechanism for student athletes to benefit from their name, image, and likeness through real marketing opportunities. And we as a conference not only support, but celebrate a student athlete's ability to generate unlimited benefits from true NIL. However, it is important to say that much of what is happening now under the guise of NIL is not true NIL, but rather a move to a pay-for-play system that is driving recruitment and the transfer portal. This system operates away from and without institutional control, nor is it required to comply with Title IX. As a voluntary membership organization, the NCAA needs to be able to enforce its longstanding rules prohibiting inducements and pay-for-play. I do, however, feel optimistic about the future of college athletics. Recently, I had the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. and meet with members of Congress to discuss a fair and true NIL framework and discuss other issues facing student athletes and college athletics. Members of Congress and their staffs are engaged, and there's real momentum for bipartisan legislation that benefits student athletes, protects the academic athletic model, and recognizes that a national competitive landscape needs national rules that can be enforced. We are pleased that Congress is seeking to ensure that critical student athlete welfare benefits like continuing health care, lifelong learning, and mental health resources are broadly provided. Recently, the A5 issued a joint statement recognizing the significant work done by Senators Blumenthal, Booker, and Moran, as well as Senators Tuberville and Manchin. We look forward to working with them and their colleagues to move legislation forward. Next, I want to give you all an update on the exciting work the conference is doing to provide USC and UCLA with a thoughtful and smooth integration into the Big Ten. I had the pleasure of spending time in Los Angeles in mid-June with leadership from USC and UCLA. Student-athlete welfare, scheduling, and marketing were the primary focus for both institutions at our meetings. Our football schedule format was an important step towards integrating UCLA and USC. The Flex Protect Plus system, as we call it, preserves important rivalries, while at the same time the nine-conference game format maintains the conference's strength of schedule and guarantees that every member will play at least one home and away game against every other member over each four-year period, truly connecting the conference. Thanks to Kerry Kenny and our ADs for leading this work. Led by Diana Sabo and the recent addition to our staff of Becky Penny, we are working hard on men's and women's basketball, and also the right regular season and postseason formats for each of our Olympic sports. I'm confident you will see creative solutions that address travel concerns, connect all of our members and student athletes into a unified conference, and promote competitive balance. I've also been asked a lot on the progress we've made in our long-form media rights agreements, and the answer is simply we've made significant progress towards their completion. We appreciate the spirit of collaboration from BTN, Fox, CBS, and NBC. I know that our partners will work with us to provide Big Ten student athletes with unmatched exposure. Before we turn our focus to football, we need to celebrate the athletic and academic success of all of our Big Ten student athletes during the 22-23 academic year. First, 50 Big Ten student athletes earned academic All-American honors. Looking back at NCAA postseason play for all sports last year, the Big Ten had 36 teams qualify for Sweet 16s, 13 advanced to Elite Eights, 9 went on to Final Fours, and 8 teams made it to the NCAA championship finals, where Penn State and Northwestern won national championships in wrestling and women's lacrosse, respectively. Big Ten student athletes earned 19 individual national championships and collected 6 National Player of the Year awards. And 120 student athletes were drafted in 6 professional sports. We wish them great success and congratulate their families and coaches. Our Big Ten hockey recently completed its 10th season, with 2 teams reaching the Frozen Four for the second consecutive season. And Michigan's Adam Fantilli became the second Hobey Baker Award winner from the conference in the last 3 seasons. In addition, Wisconsin's women's hockey program captured a national title. In men's basketball, we had 8 teams selected for tournament play, which was tied for the most bids by any conference. Purdue's Zach Edey was named Consensus National Player of the Year. It was an historic year for Big Ten women's basketball. Iowa was the first Big Ten school since 2005 to reach the NCAA championship game. And Caitlin Clark was the first women's basketball player in conference history to be chosen as unanimous National Player of the Year. She also won the Honda Cup as Collegiate Women Athlete of the Year. We had 7 NCAA Women's Tournament bids and a conference record 13 wins. We also saw season-long viewership records and attendance records at our women's tournament. And now on to football. We had a great 22 season. Last season, the Big Ten sent 2 teams, Michigan and Ohio State, to the CFP for the first time and matched the SEC as the only conferences to do so. We finished with 3 teams in the AP top 7, with Michigan at 3, Ohio State at 4, and Penn State at 7. The Big Ten had a winning record in bowl games, highlighted by Penn State's Rose Bowl win. A total of 31 Big Ten standouts earned All-American honors, including 15 who earned first-team recognition from at least one organization. Big Ten players earned 6 national awards, including the Butkus Award and the Outland Trophy. Last season, the Michigan-Ohio State game was the most-watched regular season game by a margin of more than 4 million viewers. At the stadium, the Big Ten drew over 6.5 million fans to home games and featured the top 3 drawing teams in the nation. Early preseason polls have 5 Big Ten teams in the top 25, and the conference welcomes back 99 all-conference players. When I think about the season ahead and the future for Big Ten football, I believe the conference is positioned to continue its historic success. It starts with our incredible history and traditions, great players and coaches, and a passionate fan base across 12 states. With a population of more than 125 million people when UCLA and USC enter the conference in 2024. And with our new media partners, our reach will be unprecedented. We have done a great deal of scheduling work the past few months to ensure that we have strong matchups in every telecast window. And I think Thanksgiving weekend this season is a powerful example of that work. Iowa at Nebraska